Good evening, dear family. I have a revelation I need to share with you about our women. So, of course, the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Remember, we all started out as one whole human being. I've been learning things. Take these 4 words with you: quantum, astral, ether, carbon. Quantum, astral, ether, carbon. Quantum vacuum, the astral realm, or the astroloka. What is a loka? A loka in Sanskrit means place, realm, and or planet. According to the information from Sanskrit, there are 14 lokas, but when I took a look at it and broke it down, it turns out there's a heavenly set of lokas, meaning 7 heavenly set of lokas, and there are 7 earthly set of locusts, or 7 hellbound set of locusts. So there's a bad set of locusts and there's a good set of locusts, and or there's a bad loka hierarchy and a good loka hierarchy. A good 7 loka hierarchy and a negative 7 loka hierarchy. The positive 7 loka hierarchy is the one I am trying to get you all to tap into, the heavenly one. The Satya Loka, the Brahma Loka. And even though the Hindu tradition says about the Hindu Trimurti or Hindu Trimurti, the way I see the Hindu Trimurti, let's never forget, Brahma represents the positive energy, Vishnu represents the ballast energy, and Shiva represents the destruction, negative energy. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, I say that because of this. 666, quantum, astral, ether, carbon. The 666 is the atomic number of our hydrocarbon. The 666 is the atomic number of our hydrocarbon. It's not anything devilish at all. Actually, the 666, let me read from this one too, by the way. This one is a bit different. The 666 is an angel number for change, by the way. Revelation 13:18 in this book says, this calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man. That number is 666. 666 is talking about the carbon number on the periodic table of elements. It says 16 on the periodic table of elements, but when you calculate it properly, that 16 for representing the carbon, it represents the 6 atoms that make up a carbon, 6 individual atoms, and within each atom is a proton, a neutron, a nucleus that surrounds the protons and the neutrons, and then there is an electron that circles outside of the nucleus night and day, closed in the nuclei. But here's the thing though, there are 6 of those atoms there. So that means there are 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. That's what the 666 and the number of the man represents. But here's the thing though, that number is small because hydrocarbon just a bit more than the regular carbon. Hydrocarbon is what is of our physical bodies, as well as ether. Ether and hydrocarbon is of our physical bodies. Ether and hydrocarbon are both of our physical bodies. 600, 6. 600 protons, 60 neutrons, and 6 electrons. When I first started, here's when my revelation is about to kick in. When I first started, I was saying there were 600 protons, 60 electrons, and 6 neutrons. Turns out I had it wrong. I had it wrong. I'm gonna get it right now. I had it wrong. I had something wrong. I don't want to have anything wrong. Just want to have everything necessary. I don't necessarily even want to have everything right either. I just want to have everything necessary. Here's what's going to be a necessary correction, according to how my understanding sees it now, in regards to what I'm getting ready to explain to you. After I explain the number, the actual divine grand larceny of the first man's atomic number quantity. So, hydrocarbon, 600, 6, right? 600 protons, 60 neutrons and 6 electrons. 3 score. What is a 3 score? How much is a 3 score? And or what does a 3 score equate to? Check this sequence out. If a 1 score equals 20, a 2 score equals 40, then a 3 score would equal 60. Therefore, 600 protons, 60 neutrons, and 6 electrons. So check it out. According to the logic I'm gathering, based on the way things seem now and the way things are falling in line, by way of how I'm comprehending them, by way of how I'm comprehending them and things of that nature, the atomic number equation that I equated at first for our women was 100 half a score and 1. That's what I said at first. Then I was saying things like, our women have more flesh than they have mind, but they have more heart than they have flesh. I was saying things like that. It turns out it was just it's more inverted than that. It turns out our women actually have more mind than they have flesh, and more heart than they have mind and flesh. It turns out, according to this revelation here. I'm going to explain more thoroughly. So, half a score was not taken from our minds to give to our women. Not an entire 30 was. Not an entire 30 neutrons. From what I'm gathering here, it was only 10. Because there's just a 1 in there. I can just sense a 1 in some kind of regard when it comes to how much of the energy was stolen from out of us to make them, if this story is accurate. You follow what I'm saying? If this story is accurate, at all, meaning if you can all scientifically prove that this is true based on what I'm saying, if it is accurate at all, logically speaking, from what I am sensing in regards to how our women behave today and how they act today, how they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing at all times. Look at it this way. Men see from the phenomenon perspective, women see from a polarity perspective. Men see from the phenomenon view, women see from the polarity view. What is a polarity? Cause and effect. What is a phenomenon? Something that is observed to just exist or happen. It just happened. From my perspective, it just happened. From the man's perspective, all he can see is what just happened. But from the woman's perspective, she can see the cause and effect of it. From the woman's perspective, she can see the cause and effect of it. If that makes sense to you. So, here's the revelation. Because at first I thought it was this. 600, or our women had, our men in the beginning, the first man had 100 protons taken out of his heart. Left him with 500. Then I thought at first it was this half a score over here, 30 electrons, and then I thought it was also this half a score over here, 30 electrons as well. That's what I thought it was. But in reality, no. It was just 10 neutrons. 10 neutrons alone that were taken out of that half score, or taken out of that 3 score, and left us with 50 neutrons, and left them with 10 neutrons in our minds. So meaning we have 50 neutrons in our minds, according to this revelation here, and our women have 10 neutrons in their minds, according to this revelation here. And then finally the electrons, 3 of them. Our women have 3 electrons. If this is true, if not, then Godspeed to you in your research. Godspeed to you. But from what I'm gathering here, and from what I'm getting ready to explain next, after this new number of women has been kind of sort of revamped or revisited or relooked at, it sounds a bit more confusing actually too, because it's like there's not a half a score. Like there's not a half a score of 30. There's not a half a score 30. There's just 10 that was taken from the 3 score. 10 neutrons that were taken from the 3 score. And the 3 score equals 60. So it was just 10 taken from 60, 100 taken from 600, and 2 3s for Lilith. There was just 3 electrons taken for Lilith. Just the 3 electrons alone taken for Lilith, taken for Lilith's birth. And then the last 3 electrons were taken for Eve's birth. The last 3 electrons were taken for Eve's birth. A piece of our flesh, a piece of our heart, and a piece of our mind. But for Lilith, it was just a piece of our flesh. if that makes sense to you. So, I'm going to ask a few questions now to see how this may coexist with the situation and see how you may logically grasp it more. I'm going to just ask a few questions. Have you ever noticed how our women can lose control to their flesh as they do? Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed how we have a lot more stoicism over our flesh than they do? Am I saying we lost all of our electrons? Not necessarily, because we wouldn't have flesh if we lost all of our electrons, you see. It's just, I want to say, if this is true, man, the amount of electrons that were taken out of us prevents us from falling for the devil's works as much as our women do. You follow me? The 10 neutrons are strong, but they are non-physical. The 100 protons are strong, but they are non-physical. The 3 electrons, due to the environment, due to how they've grown up, due to the fake foundational grounds, driving them into being material-based, driving them into being 3-dimensional thinkers. Maybe there's a connection there as well with this revelation. A 3-dimensional thinking mind. 3 electrons were taken out of us only to make both women, Lilith and Eve, if you want to buy this story. Because I have a sense that Lilith is Adam's first wife, truly. Lilith is the one who told us, ye shall be as gods. I think I just recently saw a video of one of the members of the family body posted, and they said, who is this individual that could be responsible for influencing the first rebellion in all of human history? This answer was not something to shame her for. It's something that she should be admired for. Because here's the reality. She was giving us a warning of a lying deity playing a game with our lives, as it is doing right now to this day, whether you want to believe this or not. Lilith was a hero, in other words. Eve was a hero. And Adam. They were all heroes. All things sapien, human. Did you know we were also called more than sapiens? We're also called erectus too, right? Many different things we were called, huh? We were called many different things. I consider sun soul people. And we have a first sun soul, who just happens to be Adamu, Adam, or Manu. Many different names, one method of operation, the first man to ever live. We have many different names. See, here. If this is true, then the story would line up like this. 100 protons from the heart, like I just said. 10 neutrons from the mind and 3 electrons from the flesh. 3 electrons alone to make Lilith, and 3 electrons with 100 protons and the 10 neutrons to make Eve. So Eve received, once again, 3 electrons, 100 protons, and 10 neutrons. That's what Eve received, personally. Eve became the perfect woman in a sense. Eve was the one that was just right. It was something about her that just happened for her existence. The woman, or the entity causing the grand larceny, polarity vision, that sees what's going on. But as far as the man's experience, it's just something that just happened. It just happened. Just kind of like, almost like the creation of the universe. It just happened. The universe was a phenomena, but something caused the effect of the universe to occur. But from our vision, it's just a phenomena. But from the causer, it's the polarity, if that makes sense to you. So, our women can lose control to their flesh way more than we can. Is it because of this electron story? Is it because of that we lost the divine electrons, should I say? The divine electrons, because right now we only have the physical fleshly, earthly electrons. Maybe this is the truth. Maybe this is the answer here, because the logic sounds more sound when I speak towards it in this direction right here. In other words, this is a part that I am sort of stumped on. I'm sort of stumped on this part because let's not forget, at the beginning I thought the 3-score was the electrons. The 3-score, I didn't think the 3-score was the neutrons. The 3-score is actually the neutrons, are actually the neutrons in the story here, not the electrons. And I've been going with 3-score electrons the whole time. It turns out, no, it was just the 3-score neutrons, not 3-score electrons. And 10 neutrons were taken from our mind. Not 1 neutron was taken from our mind. 10 to give to them. So in other words, they are a lot more intelligent and a lot more smarter and a lot more brilliant than they let off. As I said before too, and this also ties into what I mentioned, they have the ability to tap into the 4D mind effortlessly and with ease. They do, and beyond, to the 5D and the 6D. They have the ability to tap into it. We due to this fake platform we grew up on. I'm your real platform coming soon though, the Moral Center. I'm going to give you a Moral Center platform to grow up on. This is why I'm talking to you so much and saying all these words and reading all these scriptures. I'm going to give you a Moral Center foundational platform to grow up on. That's what I'm going to give you, a natural one. It'll beat the artificial one over time. And then it'll be as above, so below for real then, in real life, in reality. The quantum mind, BKA, the most high God's conscious mind. Reigning supremacy over this reality, as it was so destined and so rightfully deserves, and as it so destinedly and so rightfully deserves to be so. Moving forward. So, our women are extraordinarily smart. They just hide it from us. Well, primarily the guys they don't like, right? Now we know how it gets down. As long as you look good and you feel good, you all good to our women, right? That's all it takes. Be normal. Be as normal as you possibly can. Because here's the reality. If you look good and you feel good, you are normal to a woman, not abnormal. In case you're wondering why you're getting rejected by our sisters, it's because of the fake platform and your abnormalities, period, nothing else. Do you honestly believe that the brainwashing alone, the programming, the media, the entrenchment, do you think that's alone is the necessary end-all be-all to the cause of our women's misbehavior? Why they're not being as virtuous as they were when they started out? Why they're not... Lilith didn't have the neutrons or the protons in her vessel. According to this story, she just had the electrons. So if she was purely divine flesh, if Lilith was pure divine flesh and nothing else, meaning if she's just pure divine electrons from its most natural essence and not the flesh-based electrons, essentially the non-physical electrons, if that's possible. If Lilith was just this makeup here and she had the mentality and the cunning to say things like, if you eat of this fruit, you recognize this God is lying to you. Ye shall be as gods. Ye shall be as gods is what Mother Lilith said to Eve in the garden, right? According to the Genesis story. Oh, if you think that was a snake, it wasn't. Did you know the snake's symbolism in real life is not about slyness or cunningness or mischievousness? It's actually punishment for rebellion. According to the logic here, Mother Lilith was turned into a snake because she told Adam and Eve the truth. How many more people do you know get punished by this so-called government here today for telling the truth? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, couple examples. Fred Hampton, they made sure he was good and dead now, didn't they? Because he was out here telling the truth, just like Lilith did. And Lilith was bound to a snake for telling the truth. Punishment for rebellion. Why does it punishment for rebellion for telling the truth, though? Because your government wants you to live a lie. And your government has been our same government since the dawn of our reality, since the dawn of our existence. It's just right now, in this here spiritual, universal war, in a sense, We are dealing with the remnant of her seed. What is the remnant of her seed? The dark matter energy in which attacked myself when I was completely normal and okay before it wrapped around me. I'm speaking of the quantum energy realm, the quantum loca, or the quantum mind. Before this firmament latched on to me and stuck on what ultimately, and I'm also explaining it as if I'm in the first person view of the quantum mind. I'm in the first person view of the quantum mind, in other words. That's how I'm also explaining it to you, as if I am the quantum mind standing on my physical body, as if I am the quantum mind standing in my physical body, or standing on my physical body. You follow me? When this firmament energy, this physical space-time firmament energy, firmly sealed up my quantum mentality, what ultimately happened was my light took over the majority of it. But then there was a piece left in the center of the universe that when I began to shine my light into it, had an interaction with this remnant of her seed, Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. And when it had the interaction with this darkness, it caused the darkness to separate from the waters and form into this Nut, or this Shatupora, or this Yahweh. But the light I shined in, the light I shined in, I am now the vessel, and or I am now inside of the vessel that holds the light. I drive this vessel to get my message across, my truth, God's truth, the quantum truth, or help assist in getting the quantum truth apart. I don't have expertise in quantum physics. I don't. I just learned about the word not too long ago. But the thing is, I'm going off the meanings of the words, the meanings alone. I'm going off the meanings alone. I'm not no scholar in any of this. I can just see logically what we are missing, some things we may need, some things that to help us win and or step towards a better progressive achievements in this here global spiritual war we are dealing with. I am taking advantage of the fact that we are all in the same fight at the end of the day. I don't have any achievements. I don't have any credentials. I don't care for your credentials or necessary achievements to talk about these things. I'm just going to talk about them. Why? Because they are going to save my life as well as the lives of everybody else on this planet. I think I know why we need credentials now to talk about certain things like this. Because the people in charge don't want nobody to be saved at all. They just want you to suffer to death. Always got to be real. Cannot lie to you. I will not lie to you. Integrity is the foundation of my tongue. Moving forward, though. Lilith was just a divine flesh alone, and she had the knowledge and the wherewithal to say things like, if you don't listen to this lying government, and you eat of this fruit, and don't play her Garden of Eden game, ye shall be as gods. Be as gods. Be as gods. From a quantum, higher mind perspective, or highest mind perspective. Standing on a physical body as my foundational ability to see here. What she means by be as gods, meaning be as the Most High God, not as the lying Sky Daddy government, Sky Mama actually, telling you that if you eat of this fruit, I will punish you for all the days of your life. Yeah, you just said Sky Mama, didn't you? I did just say Sky Mama. Not afraid to tell you the truth. It's only one thing to tell you. There's only one thing we need to understand the most. That's it. And no, not necessarily the Bibles or Bible. There's only one thing we need to understand the most. Who and or what we all truly are. The actual God of the universe. We are a constituent of the internal God's universe, as well as the energy in which sits outside of the outer edge of the universe, aka the firmament. You don't necessarily have to buy it, but according to the logic, the firmament is the outer edge of the universe. The firmament is the outer edge of the universe according to the logic. And what's in the outer edge of the universe, meaning what's outside of the physical known universe, what is known as the quantum zone, right? Or the quantum realm, or what I would consider the quantum loca, quantum place, quantum realm, quantum planet. How could a mind be a physical planet? It isn't. It's a parable. Because when you see what also is in the quantum, or when you see another thing that sits outside of the physical universe, it is called the soul star chakra. What is a chakra? Chakra in Sanskrit, each of the centers of spiritual power in the human body, usually considered to be 7 in number, but in reality is infinite. A chakra Sanskrit meaning is disc or wheel, meaning something representing something circular like a planet. A planet is circular, isn't it? Atoms are circular, aren't they? Protons are circular, aren't they? Neutrons are circular, aren't they? Electrons are circular, aren't they? The nucleus, or the nuclei, us, circular, aren't they? Curvature, as Terrence Howard would say, curvature, circular, aren't they? Those were the energies, or the rings, or the things in which the divine Holy Spirit dug into the man's body after putting him to sleep and snatching the power out to put it in herself to give it birth back into the astral. And now these beautiful, magnificent individual creatures known as women live with us. This could also explain why women can be so selfish, though. Yeah, I go from complimenting them to talking the truth about them, huh? I know I can do it all in the same sentence over and over again. I know it's going to be a roller coaster with me, just to get ready for it. But it's going to be necessary, because it's like, if you don't wake up, we will never live in peace, ever. Meaning, like, if women don't stop participating in the devil's games, we will never get out of them. And due to me having this possible expertise on how and why our women are doing what they are doing currently, if I weaponize it properly, I can slay the darkness within their mind, heart spaces, and cause the natural energy within them to take over. And if that natural energy takes over their mind, heart spaces, they will force influence our men to do the same thing. Because let's not forget, it all started with the woman's teachings, didn't it? Well, what if a woman was teaching something better? You think it's possible that she can? If she didn't grow up on this fake spell casting world, yeah, she'd be excellent at it, just like Lilith was, who said, "Ye shall be as gods, be as gods, behave as gods, become as gods." Or just God, singular, not gods, plural, because we are one God. It's only one God, us, the God that shined his light into the universe, that mixed in and reacted with a whole lot of stuff that was in the universe, phenomena, and we just happened. But then from the external view, what the heck was wrapping around the light and concealing us in there and creating all types of, or being gifted with all types of abilities to form around this light here. This devil should be extremely grateful for us and for what I am truly. The devil didn't make us. We, in a sense, made the devil. In a sense, we did. It just so happens that our light shunned into the universe what her remnant of seed was. The devil wouldn't have any life at all if not for us. The devil wouldn't have any relevance at all if it wasn't for us. The devil wouldn't have any control over anything at all if it wasn't for us. Remember another thing too, forgive your parents, for the devil was working to and through them your entire life based on this, because of this fake foundation we were all forced to grow up on, and they ensured you learned all the wrong things possible to know of for life. Like all the wrong things to know about men. Like how you say you don't need no man, but in reality, you need us and we need you and we all need each other because without each other, we die. We came from the same freaking person. Why would the same person not need a part of himself? Why would the same person not need a part of his body? Why would the same person not need a part of his body? Why would a person not need a part of his body? See, here's the thing, my dear sisters, our sun women, our soul pieces. When you say things like you don't need no man, you're saying things like, I don't need the rest of myself. That's what you're saying. Why don't you need the rest of yourself? Who's teaching you these things? You want to know what's teaching you these things? These fake artificial infrastructure we all grew up on. Imagine if it was destroyed. Then what will be casting spells on you? Nothing. Oh, wait. If you want to see the Most High God as some kind of spellcaster in any kind of way, frequencies then. The frequencies we get from our true Father which art in heaven. These frequencies will give us our abilities, strength, and vitalities to function from there on after. No longer of the government's mouth and words and kill each other for fun and sport and kikis and ha-has. This information may register with you however you like to. Stop saying you don't need a man, my dear sisters. Come home. We miss you. No, I do. It's the fake foundation and the damages. The fake foundation and the damages. This is what's keeping us separated the most. The fake foundation comes with your artificial welfare and your jobs and your schooling textbooks that only taught you the wrong things to know for the first 18 years of your life just so you grow up to be surely ignorant in this society. Getting ready to fall for all of their traps because they didn't teach you how to prepare for them. They wanted you to grow up ignorant, remember? They wanted us all to grow up ignorant. Why do you think we know nothing about each other? School was the worst amount of time anyone could spend at anywhere, especially during these days here. School is the worst place to... I don't want to encourage that, man. That sounds foul coming out of my mouth. It really does, but it's like, man, the things that I learned in school versus what I'm learning now, those all 18, 19, 22 of them years were a waste of my time, bro. Compared to what I am learning now, those 20 years were a waste of my time, bro. It is not fair how much we don't know about ourselves. It is not fair. "100 protons from the heart," man. I'm going to just say this one more time and I'm going to close the video out. 100 protons from the heart, 10 neutrons from the mind, and both of the three. I do this right here, this O3 right here, to represent, do it this way, not the white power way. I do it this way. WP, 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 right? So, O3. From the flesh, O3. From the flesh, divine electron stolen to make one, to make Lilith, left hand. Second one with the protons and the neutrons to make Eve. And now Eve came out as the perfect woman. It was just something about her. All of our women have the Eve gene. All of our women do. All of our women have the Eve gene power. All of our women do. Or look up, I believe it was called the Khoisan tribe. Look up the Khoisan tribe. Maybe you'll gather some more insight from this here story as I'm telling you. The Khoisan tribe with the Eve gene. Now, remember this note right here. Those 3 electrons, those 3 divine electrons, though, those 3 electrons are different from, are not necessarily the exact same as our flesh-based electrons. Those divine electrons are not necessarily the exact same as our flesh-based electrons. If this is true, just from the logic, this is how I'm gathering it from the logic, man. But when if y'all hear this story, want to maybe toss it around in what you believe, not your belief system, Not your belief system. Keep your belief system for peace, love, unity, and advancement, and/or peace, respect, balance, and progression only. Keep your belief system for those 8 words, and/or 7. Keep your belief system for that. But as far as what you believe, play around, man. Work it out. Test things in your mind. See what you are mentally capable of. You have fantastic levels of discernment naturally. You have natural discernment. You have the ability to distinct, instinct, and/or extinct anything you like to. Literally. You have a good instinct to distinct and extinct all evil. You are powerful. Shalom, shalom, shalom. May you have learned something magnificent about our women, because our women are magnificent. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.